Hello, truth seekers. Lawrence here, and welcome to Easy Enlightenment. So, sometimes we act brave, and sometimes we act weak, don't we? Depending on the scenarios, we have this expression. Whether we are acting with this brave attitude or a weak attitude, both are coming from the place of fear. If you investigate why am I acting such a way, you realize that there's a subconscious layers, there's a conditioning in us that is making us to act brave or to act weak. When you hear it and when you're listening, you don't see that right now. But when you start to investigate, you start to realize there's a deeper reason behind the way we approach, the way we handle things in life. And whether we're acting brave or weak, that's not who we are. That's not who we are. We are the awareness. We are the consciousness. That's where we're supposed to move from. Acting macho or brave or acting weak, it's just the agenda. It's just a mental representation. Yeah. When we're acting from that mental representation, yeah, is that the authentic life? Is that an aware life? And when we move with agenda, when we move with the mental drama, notice we just keep prolonging that flow, and that flow takes a lot of effort, and that effort is contradicting within. It makes us pretty much, put the constant effort. It's an effort to not to be who we are. And because of that, life is a struggle right now, isn't it? We don't have to add the layers to expression life. We can just be aware. If we are aware, we see things as it is. And when we see things as it is, we don't have to, macho up. And we don't have to also hide. And that's how the life's supposed to be, seeing things as it is and whatever we are in line with. And we just see the pattern. And if our pattern, if the pattern we have chosen is limiting, then we can organize ourselves to invite a healthy pattern and build up the stuff and make things better for ourselves in a relative sense. That's pretty much life. Being aware, choosing something in life, and making things better. That's life. That's growth. And from there, the support comes in naturally. Also, when we start to be aware of the pattern world, on how to organize ourselves in the world, we're relying on who we are. And from there we see the inspiration that being aware can lead us to easy life, inspiring life, harmonious life, balanced life. We see that. And when we start to get interested in a spirituality to figure out the truth of who we are, we have to have a same quality to look in. We have to be aware. We have to take the seat of the awareness, and we got to utilize that awareness to dismantle the mind. If we are moving with awareness in the world, we see the pattern. We see how the patterns are coming together to create something grand in life. And when we start to be inward journey, when we have the reference that who we are is not the pattern, when we realize that we are the consciousness and the nature of the consciousness is empty, and when we start to work on ourselves, it's easy to dismantle as well. We start to see that when we start to dismantle the mind, we recognize that the mind is simply the pattern as well. Pattern that we have collected from the world, from the outer movement. Whatever outer movement we have gone through, that always leaves the mental pattern. And when we start to dismantle, at some point we realize that the mind is simply the pattern. And dismantling, when we start to get interested to be free from the limitation of the mind, to be free from the fear, when you start to get interested in enlightenment or spiritual freedom, when we walk, then we can sustain the awareness in us. When we are living with awareness outside, we are moving from that place. That's the seat we have taken. And when we start to go in, we are already in that seat. We have already created a good foundation. And that foundation help us to stay with ourselves. And from there we can witness the mind. And from there we can, understand the nature of the mind by investigating the mind. And enlightenment, the mental freedom from the fear, is about witnessing our mind and investigating the mind and dismantling the mind. Investigating the mind means we are dismantling the mind in a backward movement. Dismantling itself is a backward movement, subtracting the mind. And when we subtract the mind all the way, and that's where we see the nature of the consciousness as conscious. And we have been consciousness the whole time. Our nature of the consciousness, the nature of who we are, the conscious part is always present throughout the life. The only difference before enlightenment is the consciousness is contracted because of the experience, the physical experience. The physical experience is more realistic than the experiencing the nature of who we are. And that's how we become lost in the physical world. And when we are lost in the drama of the physical world, the awareness is always projecting out, observing the world. But once you realize the truth of who you are, when you truly see yourself, you realize that the consciousness is always there, just projecting outside. And that's what is making us forget who we are. And enlightenment journey, the spiritual journey, makes it possible to take the seat and trust the seat by seeing the nature of the consciousness as conscious, and that's it. Realizing we are that. So, anyway, we move with these emotional roller coasters of being brave or acting weak. I'm saying that these layers are not who we are. This is just the agenda. Depending on the scenario, circumstances, we act that way. When we can dominate the world, we act brave. When we can't dominate, we act weak. It's all coming from the place of fear. And to realize this attitude is coming from the place of fear, then we have to investigate. Is it true? Is this guy telling me the true reference? And to realize whether it's true or not, you have to investigate on yourself. You have to ask yourself, why am I acting brave in some scenario? And why am I acting weak in some scenarios? We have this dualistic attitude, and if we trace our macho-ness or weakness, the underneath this surface movement, you will realize because of the fear, we acting in such a way. And until we realize the deeper conditioning, and until we dissolve this deep-seated conditioning in us, there is a struggle. Everything happens from the place of fear. That makes us struggle. And that makes us act or go against the nature way of things. And that brings further struggle. So if you don't want to struggle, in life, then you really have to see who you are. Definitely, in life you have to put some effort. Effort is needed. But there's a difference between conscious effort and, unnecessary effort, which is a struggle. So there's a difference. So if you're seeking spiritual freedom, that means and the journey is about dissolving the mind. If you dissolve your mind, you dissolve your fear. And if you dissolve your fear, your life becomes fearless. You become fearless. And then you don't have to, fearless means you become aware being. You see things as it is, and that's how the life's supposed to move. Not acting brave and dominating, and not acting weak and running away from the situation. You allow life to come to you and pass through you without you limiting, without resisting the flow. And that's how the real growth takes place. That's how we understand further, movement of the world. Right? Anyway, that's all in this video. Thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting. And if you have been following this channel, I always invite you to investigate your mind. It's not about, following anybody in this journey. You hear the reference, and then it's about being aware of oneself and working on yourself to dissolve all the layers that's not who you are. And that's where you end up finding seeing the truth of who you are. So take the seat of the awareness and keep going, and keep going, and your true sincere work will not fail you. All right, thanks for watching again. I'll see you in the next video. Take care for now. Bye.